Been a minute since we've done a one and one for. We're rolling with it.
What, Oneford and Sons?
Yeah, you get it. Yeah,
I've been looking forward to it, man.
The one from ears. Yeah, I have been too. It's nice.
It's I love having guests on. Mm-hmm. But obviously there's a little bit of like an added stress to make sure that they're comfortable and we're engaging with them and making sure it runs smoothly. But you and I, man, it's a breeze. We got a little setup to do, but
yeah,
dude, now I'm sitting down, dude. I always tell people that the podcast is kind of like the one, like it's kind of for business. And we get to just hang out with my bud.
Hang out with my bud.
Yeah.
I like it.
What you been up to?
We should get nicknames for the podcast.
Rufus and the Bud.
Rufus and the Bud.
Turn it into a radio talk show.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in, dude.
We need to get Ryan on a soundboard that just has like a bunch of just stupid clips. Just a bunch of
my wife. I hope Ryan listens to that part because I forgot how much of a Borat fan he is. He'd overuse that one for sure.
Right. But it's just us sitting here, and every time we're just talking and just get to press a button. We would abuse that so bad.
We would lose listeners.
Yeah.
I'm pouring some boybin.
We'll drink it some Penelope.
Tommy brought back out the toasted Penelope, the Jant store pick. This was a very good one.
I think my favorite Penelope, to be honest. I liked all of them. Don't get me wrong. They're all phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think this one's my favorite. I was a big fan of this one.
Very good one.
Yeah.
I told you to grab a nice bottle. This is a very nice bottle.
Yeah, I looked through a lot of different options, to be honest.
You were in there for a little while.
Yeah. I was trying to decide what I wanted. I looked all over the place. I think I wanted whiskey. I knew I wanted whiskey, but I wasn't sure what I wanted. Mm. And then I started looking and I saw the P and I was like, ooh, a Penelope. That sounds good. And I go, wait a minute. I don't know what that one next to it is. That's a Penelope toast.
A little roasty toasty.
That's what I want.
A little cheers.
Yeah, why not?
That is good.
Oh, yeah.
That is good.
It's so good.
Dude, I got I grabbed a little stogie that is a chocolate flavored.
Chocolate stogie.
Dude, I'm going all in on the sweets tonight.
Tell you what, that's actually probably a really nice combo.
I figured, dude, with the very sweet notes from the toasted barrel.
Little chocolate.
Dude, smell that one really quick.
Wow. You know what it smells like?
Chocolate.
You're not wrong. I get a little cinnamon though. Tell me it doesn't smell like a churro when you get like a churro that has like the chocolate with it.
Dude, this was given to me by buddy rep with oh gosh, the name of the company is going to escape me right now.
What a jerk.
It's been a day.
What a jerk you are, Kevin. Got you a gift?
I think he's like the vice president now.
Of you don't know what.
Dude, oh my gosh, it's been a day.
I'm with you.
I think I'm in one of those mindsets where I could probably forget my wife's name, so please don't take offense.
Yeah.
Astroflave.
Oh, yeah. Astroflave.
I
love their marketing. They've got really solid marketing.
Yeah.
I like all their logos. I like all their stuff. It looks good.
Very clean.
James is a big fan. JP is a big fan of their marketing too.
Yeah. And they've got good formulas too, man. Some of the stuff that's pretty similar to what we make and some stuff that's very different as well. They definitely, you can tell, are trying to push the boundaries and be innovative, but
which I appreciate.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's a balance for sure. Like you want to push, but not like too far to where people don't even realize what you're doing. But
well, and then there's the opposite side of that too, where where it's like people just use. I'm feeling spicy. That just hit me. Where like not Astroflave is great, but
Tell them.
yeah, I'm gonna get them. But the opposite side of things that we're seeing right now are companies naming themselves or products things with like buzzwords, and then them not being those things at all. It'll be like, I'm coming out with a protein called Clean Modern Household. And you're like, okay, well, it must be a nice, clean protein. And you look at it and it's like the shittiest formula I've ever seen in my life. It's like
The least clean protein we have on the shelves.
literally. And it's like, why are they, or it's like, our brand is all about not hiding anything. We disclose everything except for our processing and what we put in our stuff. You're like, why are you talking about being so open about your things? Like, that's your whole marketing scheme. It's your whole strategy is to be like, we're open and honest and we tell you everything. And then you turn it over and you're like, you don't tell me shit. What are you talking about?
The sad thing is it like it's working?
Right.
Like those companies are popular.
Well, I mean,
because I know who you're talking about.
You take me out of this realm and you put that into any other thing where it's like I now become the layman and it's like you use some buzzword or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's probably, they obviously care about that. That must be what it is. But it'd be like, I'm making a protein called Clean Organics. And you're like, okay, cool. So it's clean and organic. It's like, oh God, no. It's just called Clean Organics. But no.
Yeah, because we added the S in there. That doesn't technically have to be organic. Yeah.
Organics.
With an X.
Yeah. Right. Literally though. And then you're like, oh, this must be the best thing on the market. And you're like, and it's the best thing on the market because I'm going to charge you $15 more than any other tub there is. And you're like, all you have to do is there's your marketing right there. I just made it for you. It's called Clean Organics. Make the cheapest, shittiest protein you can and sell it for $15 more than everybody else. And people will flock to you.
For sure. I'm curious.
You will
how long do you
not
think,
have a soul, but
yeah, for sure. That's and then you have people like us trying to fight that and educate people and let people know that, hey, this isn't so clean and organic.
Organics.
Sorry, organics. Yeah. It's organics, but not organic.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have people like us trying to fight that. Do you think that the good guys win in that situation?
I think in the long run.
Yeah.
I think they do. I think I think you look at I think especially with the way that we do things with educating people, I think they start to see through that stuff because they start to look and they see like, hey, this doesn't disclose like protein processing or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to call it. I'm changing my mind. We're going to call it Clean Organs, right? And they're going to be like, oh, so it's like it's clean and good for your organs. And it's like, nope, you're going to shit yourself, so you clean out your organs. With this terribly processed burnt protein.
Did you see the roast of Tom Brady?
I saw parts of it.
Alyssa watched it. I don't know why she was so interested in watching Tom Brady get roasted, but she
hates Tom Brady
secretly. But there's one part where they're roasting him for his supplement line, and they're like, "Oh yeah, greatest detox I've ever had." Wait, no, I was taking the protein that was supposed to make me shit for like a week, right?
Yeah, but for real, yeah. Clean organs.
Clean your organs.
Clean out your organs because it will.
Do you think consumers would fall for it if we just renamed Define Nutrition to be just world's best nutrition? It must be. Dude, you can't put that on the label.
I mean,
it's true.
You got to. I mean, you literally have to have it ranked by the world to put that on your label.
Right.
And I get it. It makes me wonder, how many, how much stupid shit I've bought in my life purely based off of that exact same premise.
Dude,
it's just something I'm not I'm far from an expert in anything, but it's just something I don't know above average on, and so it's where I could just see through all of it. I'm sure I've bought something that's just well, it said,
I was going to say, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about an industry that we are very familiar with.
Sure.
But yeah, do you think that can you think of a different industry where you were buying something because it was branded a certain way and come to find out it's not that at all?
I'm sure. Let me think. I'm trying to think of other things where like you can do that because people just wouldn't know the difference. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure if you walk into like an AutoZone or an O'Reilly's or something like that, I'm sure there's a whole mess of like inject cleaner that just doesn't do shit and like literally doesn't do anything at all.
I feel like,
but it's like it's $10 and it'll make my engine last longer or whatever. And it's like, it doesn't do shit. You know? Or like how most of the like stop a leak stuff is like terrible for your car. And it's like, cause it just like clogs everything. It's like the idea.
It ain't gonna leak.
Right. But it's you're like, I mean, maybe if you're driving my car that's got like 215,000 miles on it and you're like, I'm not changing this radiator that's leaking. Like, I'm just going to clog this shit up until the wheels fall off,
Yeah, make it just Band-Aid it up for a little bit.
Yeah, right. But it's, I'm sure that's definitely one of the industries where I've probably bought something that was like that. Like I was there and I was like, you know what? Sure, I bet this gasoline additive will definitely bust all the carbon carbon out of my engine. And it's like, it's just fucking Kool-Aid.
Dude, that is always so nerve-wracking to go to, like, and you're decently familiar with cars as well, like way more than I am, man. But like for anybody, man, I'm sure it's like for me, it's like always nerve-wracking when they're like, hey, like there's something going on with your engine. It's going to be like $700 to fix. I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I don't want to take the time to like go and like get another quote from somebody else. I kind of want to just fix it. Like, fingers crossed you're telling me the truth. Like, or you just risk it. They say it's $3,000 and you're like, nah, I'd rather just break down.
Yeah. I think that happened one time with my like old Maxima and they were like, well, to do this would cost, I think the guy like called me back and he's like, you're going to laugh at me. And I'm like, why? And he's like, it's going to be $1,200 to fix your car that you bought for $1,000.
Dude, that happened with my Dodge Ram whenever I was dealing with some problems. I think in the axle, it was a couple different things. And so I left it there and they took it all apart to check out what was going on. And they quoted me, I think it was like 10 grand to fix. And I'm like, okay, so like, and they're like, do you want us to go ahead and get started with that? And I'm like, no. Like the truck is, I'd get, the best I get is like $5,000 for it. And they were like, they're like, well, are you planning on like trading it? Like, what are you going to do with it? I'm like, I'll probably just sell it as is, man. And they're like, well, you'll probably want to get it fixed before you sell it. I'm like, okay, so I should spend 10 grand and then turn around and sell it for $5,000. Yeah. It would be cheaper to light it on fire.
Like literally it would be like what?
Yeah.
Like you're telling me to pay somebody $5,000 to take it away from me.
You spent too much time looking at the engine and not thinking about math.
Yeah, right.
Take a second to think about math a little bit.
Or they want you to give them $10,000.
I didn't think about that.
It's funny because we've been shopping around for stuff for the wedding. And it's like funny because, we'll be somewhere and it'll be like, hey, we need this. And they'll be like, okay, well, and we're like, hey, just the groom is wearing this or whatever. And they're like, okay. And then whoever the salesperson is, well, like, you're going to do the groom, but you also want to do like, like the bride's dad too then, right? And we're like, nope, just the groom. And they're like, I don't know. Like, you should definitely buy this like $400 thing also for the bride's dad. And we're like, yeah, but that's not what we want. And they're like, all right, well, hey, it's on my wedding, and you're like,
you're right.
And you're like, dude, I know what you're doing. Just stop. Like,
yeah.
I get it. It's your job, but like you've tried 3 times and we're not biting. So it's like,
yeah, there's smoother ways to do that.
Yeah. And it's like, I understand and I get what you're trying to do here, but it's like, no thanks.
Dude, that is honestly kind of one of the nice things about working in Triad. And honestly, a reason that I talked about last time about missing being in store was like, there's like the only incentive to recommend something is to transition someone from a product that's working subpar for them to a product that we know would work better for them. It's like, I just want to help you. So if you're really not about it, it's like, dude, I've got no other incentive otherwise.
Or something that will work equally as well that's cheaper.
Right. Right. Exactly. And like, obviously usually that tends to work pretty well. Is like we can get people on better products that way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, if you're very adamant about like my buddy told me to take this or
Right.
I saw this and I really want it, and it's like, dude, like that's totally fine, man. Like dude, I'd love to help you out, but like, man, I'm not like my paycheck doesn't really matter. Like
I had a guy in the other day that was kind of like that, where I was talking to him, and it was pretty funny because they grabbed some stuff, and I think he'd been in before. I'd never taken it. It was either his first or second time, and he hadn't shopped with us a bunch, and he was like, "Oh, and I want creatine too." And I was like, okay, well, here's a couple options. We've got this one here. This is your cheapest up front. It's like $21 for 30 servings. It is your cheapest up front. And I always say, like, I say pretty much the same thing every time. And I was like, but it's not real popular because of this one right above it. That is $23 for 50 servings. So $2 more almost doubles your servings. Like you go from 30 to 50 by going from $21 to $23. And he's like, I think I'm just going to go for the $21 one. And I'm like, dude, yeah, absolutely. And he goes, because I only take it on days that I'm like strength training. And I'm like, ooh. And I'm like, well, hey man, just like a heads up, like creatine is a muscle saturation thing, so it is really important. You're not going to get like really any acute effects from taking it. Like this has got to be something that you take regularly to kind of maintain in your system, to keep those levels high, to replenish ATP, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And he was like, oh, well then like it just doesn't make sense for me to buy it then. And I'm like, no, 100% it doesn't. Like you shouldn't.
Right. You should legitimately like make a decision now of like, don't do what you're doing. Either go more or don't do it at all,
right.
man. Like,
and
seriously.
What was funny is he kind of looked at me and I'm like, oh yeah, no, you definitely should not buy it then.
Yeah.
And he was like, and he kind of looked at me for a second and I'm like, yeah, man, well, like just to be like, you can do whatever you want, but just like to be honest with you, like it is kind of a waste at that point, and I just want to make sure you're at least like getting the benefits of what you're taking.
Right.
And he was like, you know what? Just because you told me to not buy it, he's like, I'm going to go ahead and buy the 50 serving one and I'm going to take it every day. And I'm like, oh yeah, dude, like, and that's cool too. Like do whatever you want. But it was cool because like when he got to the register, he was very much like, that was really refreshing to like have somebody be like, hey, the way you're doing this doesn't make sense. So like you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
And he was like, man, that's really nice. Like now I know I should be taking it and I'm not. He's like, I know you obviously didn't have like any incentive to sell it to me essentially because like you told me not to buy it.
Dude, one thing that I should use this from time to time, or when I have the opportunity. But when we were in supplement superstores, I had a guy come in and he was asking about the Commander pack, their weight loss pack that they were doing some advertising on. And he came in and the first thing he said, super nice. He was like, hey, just a heads up, man. I was just curious about it. I wanted to ask some questions and hear more about it. But like, just so you know, man, like I don't plan on purchasing it today. And that was actually really nice.
Super refreshing.
Right. That was actually really nice for me in my position. I'm sure like if you go into like somewhere where it is, their paycheck is very commission based and like they're incentivized to like have really hard, like pushy sales, they might just be like, oh, okay, yeah, it's over there. Like, but it was really nice in my position because then it's like, dude, like there's no like guesswork on if I'm trying to sell this to you or not. It's like, I just get to talk to you about this, man. Like I just get to like, dude, I'll tell you about it and then you're going to walk out. And I told him about it and like, it's like, man, here's the things that I kind of like about it.
And it's a dope product.
Yeah, it's a dope product. Here's generally how it works, man. Here's how you take it. Here's what we can kind of generally expect. And he was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll get it today. And how it's like, you totally knew that you were purchasing it today, but it was really nice that you came in that way because it like, and you did that to kind of like, I guess, pull down the veil and see how much commission I'm working off of, which was really nice. I was like, man, I should probably do that myself at certain places, but and then it allowed me, like, it gave me confidence to like, when I'm talking about it, he knows that I'm not just trying to sell it because he told me he's not buying it.
I'm going to start doing that everywhere. I'm going to be at Taco Bell. I just want to know about the cheesy gordita crunch. I'm not purchasing today.
Can you tell me about it?
Yeah. How cheesy is it? And what is a gordita crunch?
I've got questions.
Yeah. And they'd be like, sir, get the fuck out of here.
And spit in your face.
Yeah. Some like kid who makes like $5 an hour. He's going to be like, what?
Dude. You never know, man. Taco Bell could get really salesy, could get real pushy.
All taco commission based.
Taco commission.
Yeah. And I see James sold 3 Crunchwrap Supremes today.
Dude, you know what would be really funny is to create, you know how there's like those businesses, like their whole thing is to be rude. And like that's their shtick. Like, and it's like you go in for that kind of experience. I'm thinking something that isn't related to this at all, but like a taco shack that's like fun. It's just going somewhere to eat, but you get treated like a used car salesman.
Yeah. All right, guy. All right. I'm looking at you now, and we're going to put you in a 4 taco pack. All right. You got the trunk space for it.
Dude, we are really getting on this used car salesman, like the commercial idea that we had last time.
Come on now. Come on. Too many pre-workouts.
I need to write that idea down because I forgot about that until just now. Dude, that's hilarious, man.
Come on down to the annual. Kevin bought too many pre-workouts.
I'm sorry, but I'm literally going to mark that down. Be on the lookout for that advertisement and try it. Yeah.
I can't wait to voice it. The boss is out of town, so we got to clear off the shelves.
We have an influx in protein inventory.
Wow.
Dude, that'll be our clearance sale ad this year.
We need to get like some of those like flailing, wacky wavy, inflatable arm filling tube men.
That brings it all together.
Yeah.
That brings the whole commercial together. Dude, this is why we need to get to the point where we can just be responsible for the things that we're best at.
Yeah.
And cheesy commercials is our you look at
that I'm looking fly there.
Oh, I thought Alyssa was looking through the window. But yeah, we need to get to the point where we can pass along our responsibilities and truly do what we're truly best at and be in these commercials.
That's right.
Run these advertisements. This is what we're best at. This is where we flourish. That's where we really thrive, is when we get to that point.
I can't wait to become the thing we hate most. Ideas, guys. We don't want to do anything. We just want to have the ideas.
No, we'll be in the commercials.
Yeah, that's true. But like the majority will be just thinking of ideas.
Dude, I really don't know if I could be an idea guy. Like I think I'm so wired at this point of like when an idea is passed, like I almost like skip the step where it's just like think about who could do it and I just start doing it myself. Right. So
I get that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'd rather be that way than to be on automatic.
Well, I'll tell you what, then I'll be the ideas guy and you do it. You do all the.
I don't like that.
No, I'm doing the hard work here. You do just all the logistics. That's easy stuff. Everyone knows it.
That is really funny. I think I remember being a kid, watching. I think it was like some show on Nickelodeon, and it was like with Riley.
I can entertain. Or we can pause it.
This commercial break brought to you by
Crying Babies. We'll be right back.
We will be back.
For anyone's interested, Ryan, maybe. The NFL Top 100 just ranked Tua Tagovailoa as a better player than Sauce Gardner. And that makes me want to scream. To the viewers, that was mere seconds. Welcome back.
Dude, can you believe I got Riley back to sleep that quickly?
Honestly, incredible.
We'll probably try and make sure that we're not getting too loud.
Yeah.
So yeah.
They will be able to tell because it's probably darker out.
Nah, Ryan can edit that, I think.
Ryan edited in a sun.
Liz has been watching Malcolm in the Middle recently.
Uh-huh.
And they like buy a real big firework, set it off at night, and they like clip to it being like total daytime. When it goes off. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Malcolm in the Middle, classic.
Yeah. Getting a real appreciation for Hal on that show. But yeah.
It's funny. I feel like it's one of those shows that rewatching now, you have like a whole different perspective on from like when you were a kid.
Yeah. Honestly, the main thing is I think I appreciate the difference in characters that Bryan Cranston plays between that and Breaking Bad. He's totally different, but very good in both of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super funny. You see those, like I remember when Breaking Bad was going out, like happening, and it was like, there was like the joke that, like, that they were the same show, but it was just like him in witness protection.
They did one at like the very end of, I think the very end of Breaking Bad, where he like wakes up next to Lois as like Hal and Malcolm in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I just had the craziest dream.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, Riley had a case of the FOMOs.
I get it.
Yeah, she wanted to be on the podcast.
Podcast is pretty cool to be on.
This is true, dude. Do you think about that, dude? We're on episode 50, which I'm sure the viewers realized when they clicked on it. A big old 50 on it. I'm sure. Ryan, get that big, maybe a spinorama and some sound effects.
50.
But dude, I was just thinking about that. I was putting Riley back to sleep. I was like, dude, that 50 episodes is a lot of fucking episodes because these are not short episodes.
Yeah, it's like 100-ish hours probably.
Yeah, dude, it's probably, I bet we're over 100 hours.
Yeah. 100 hours of doing this.
Jeez, dude.
That's a crazy thing to think about.
Yeah, them's a lot of hours, dude. It was kind of crazy to think about how different it was when we first started. When we first started, it was just Quail and the Norman store.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember doing build out episodes.
Yeah.
When we were
in the middle of the Yukon store.
Yeah.
Dude, I bet
and then we did build out episodes in the middle of the warehouse.
Yeah. We were running around in the warehouse where it was literally just us, a table, and the microphones.
Yep.
Dude, I bet those episodes, especially the Yukon build out one, would be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's true. Yeah, things were pretty hectic back then. So I remember having to like run there and then like, dude, we finished at like 9 p.m. and then I had to still run by another store.
Oh, yeah. I was like, do an episode after you literally just used a drill to drill 900 screws.
Yeah. There are a lot of screws in that place.
There's so many screws in there.
Yeah, you don't think about that when you go into a store like that.
Sure don't. So many screws.
They're doing build out next to the Quail Springs store right now, and they are doing some jackhammering next door.
Gotta get a mop sink.
Dude, they're doing something in there. That's crazy. I walked in because I walked into the Quail Springs store and we were filming a Try It and Friends video with somebody. I was meeting somebody and I was running a little behind to get there in time to like set up the camera and everything. So like I was still there before the guests and everything, but I walk in to just like they can't hear anything, like jackhammering next door. And I was like, oh, like that is probably making it rough for customers.
That's crazy.
The guys at Quail were telling me that they were dealing with that. And they were like, of course it's not going on while you're here. And I'm like, how bad has it been? And they're like, like it's not super fun. I'm like, are you guys still able to like take customers? Like, yeah, we can still like take customers and whatnot. It's like, okay, I won't worry too much. But yeah, walking in today, I was like, dude, I can't fucking hear anything. Ugh. I was like, is this how bad it's been? They're like, no, this is quite a worse. Like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad that it hasn't been this for weeks and I haven't done anything about it. They're like, yeah, this is definitely the worst it's been. So I walk in our neighbor 2 doors down from the Asian acupressure place, which is awesome for a massage. But the guy doesn't speak any English. He's been in business longer than we have at the Quail Springs location because they do a phenomenal job. But he's over there and he's trying to communicate that like I'm guessing like was complaining about the jackhammering and he like can't get anybody to do anything about it and like wants somebody to go talk to them and like he's like talking to in his phone as a translator and I'm like stressed because I'm like, dude, how are we taking customers here today? Right. And I was like, I got a whole bunch of stuff in my hands, like a camera and a bag and like all this stuff. I was like, hey, let me put my stuff down really quick. He was like, no. And I like wouldn't let me go to the back and I'm like, oh gosh, like I'm getting my stress wish went from 0 to 10 real quick.
Oh no.
And then our guest walked in, Karina with CrossFit Land Rush, so that video will come out in like a week or two on some of the products that she likes. But she walked in, she's like, ooh, that's pretty rough. I was like, yeah. And in the acupressure place guy's still talking to me and she's like, are we gonna be able to film the video? I'm like, fuck, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, right.
I was like, I can probably go tell him to take a quick break or something. But I'm like, I still have to set up the camera. I have to change. I have to like make sure that like I have to answer like this guy's questions. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I will be right back. I just need to set my stuff down.
Yeah, just give me a second to set my things down, please.
I remember my mom saying that as a kid of like, when she'd get home, because she'd get home probably around 5 or 6, like, and I had been home from school already, and like my like she'd get home and we'd be excited and have questions and stuff for her and whatnot.
Right.
And she's like, "Let me set my stuff down."
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I get it. I get it now.
Oh my God, just let me set my things down.
But yeah, I went over next door and brought him waters, like try and extend an olive branch right off the bat. And they were super cool. And I was like, hey, you guys planning on taking a break anytime soon? We got a guest over there to shoot a video. And they're like, oh, dude, we need to actually take our lunch break.
Nice.
They're like, we just do that now. I was like, dude, thank you.
Solid.
Guys. But I walked in there and it is legitimately, dude, they have torn up the concrete around pretty much the whole fucking perimeter. Like there is like a 1 foot wide gap in the concrete down to like
is this the one right next to us?
Right next to us. Dude, if you're in Quail Springs, it literally sounds like they are underneath the floors.
What in the world are they doing?
Dude, I'm like trying to picture what they're doing. I'm like imagining like a fountain running.
That's what I was thinking.
The whole thing.
Like an in the ground saltwater fish tank.
Yeah, dude, a koi pond. Like,
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
Dude, for real. I mean,
What's going in there? Do you know?
I don't think anybody knows. They don't have any signs. I don't think the quail guys know yet.
Dang.
It's literally just construction workers in there. So like, I didn't ask that. I don't know if they know or not, but yeah. But they're doing some work over there. That's for sure, dude.
It is crazy. Like how many businesses change. You know what I mean? Like I get it. It's like certain ones just don't last very long or whatever, or they move. But it's like, man, like how many different neighbors have we had through all 3 locations? Because Yukon's already had different neighbors.
And yeah, that shopping center hasn't even been up for 2 years.
Literally.
I was just thinking about that. To the right of us, somebody else just moved in, and it's like I think it's like a dog grooming place. I believe. I don't think it's like care, or I think that's what it is. It's called like Paul Rodice or something. I don't know, but
yeah,
I'm sorry, that's not the right name. But they were going in there, and I was like thinking back to like all the places I've been in there. And there was League Above, that was like the clothing and like shoe store.
Yep.
There was a women's clothing store, I believe, before that. And then before that, it was Star Home, and which was like a home decor place. They moved, and I don't know what happened to the other 2 businesses, but yeah, dude.
Crazy.
Yeah, dude, moving is so much work, man. I can't imagine like wanting to do that super
For
often.
real.
Yeah. Don't let, hopefully my landlords aren't listening, because yeah, you'd have to do a lot to make me, you have to charge us a lot more.
Yeah.
Because
moving
it's
would be
expensive,
a nightmare
dude.
too.
Not yet. I mean, legitimately just all the stuff, all the build out a new place and all the stuff, like all that work that goes into that, but also the money. It's like, dude, it's like practically opening up a new location, dude.
Literally.
Yeah. And like
you'd hope that you could just like move somewhere close where you could just like hire movers. It's just like movers you would for the house. And it's just like, just take it down to 6 stores and pop it in there.
Right. I wonder if there's a GC that does that maybe. Like, hey, look at this. You see how this looks? Let's do that over there. But like move it all.
Yeah. Let us know when you're done.
But like, dude, that like on top of like, dude,
I'm sure
just from
is.
a customer. Yeah, dude, I bet somewhere like maybe
Should
like LA or
sure.
something like,
Yeah.
where, there's maybe probably more retail, but yeah, dude, also like the customer standpoint as well. Like, dude, like you can't like close down for a few months to do that. You gotta.
And we've seen what happens if you move. You could move literally 6 doors that's slightly around the corner, and if you don't have proper signage and you don't have proper whatever, people think you don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
we have seen that.
Yeah, people literally mention, "Oh, I guess they went out of business.
Not there anymore."
Yeah,
and they are just 400 feet away.
Yeah,
totally open,
right.
ready for business. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And they did it quick too. Obviously, I don't think we're going
Cross
to
your
name
T's and dot your I's, I guess.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
You got to have everything.
You got to have a sign on the door. You got to prep with posts. Dude, I know Supplement Superstores did this, and like I've always been prepared if we've ever had to move. Luckily, we haven't. But legitimately, for a week, just pay an employee to just hang out there. Be like,
Literally,
hey.
they just had them sit out front with a folding table and a folding chair, and their whole job was just sit down, sit there, and anytime answer the phone, and if anybody showed up, say, nope, we moved down the road.
Yep. Dude, that's on.
I remember Peyton talking about that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too. Was Peyton doing that, man? But like, and I'm glad I heard that story because it's like, fuck, dude. It's expensive and it's a lot of work, but that's so worth it, though.
Literally.
Like, think about like how many customers you could lose because of that if you didn't do that.
Right. Like, well, and it's one of those things too, where it's like, it's expensive, but like, how much are you going to spend? You know what I mean? Like, let's say you spend $100 a day,
right,
to employ somebody there,
right?
Like, let's go high end, $200 a day, right. Like, if 2 or 3 people think you're close and don't come in and purchase things, like,
yep, that's not just that day, dude.
Right,
like, that you're losing sales, dude. That's potentially they're never coming back because they think
you're
going to
lose tenfold.
Yeah,
that
easy. Yeah, you lose regular customers, man. That's rough, dude. Yeah. My dentist moved one time, and it wasn't updated on Apple Maps. They did, to their defense, they sent me an email telling me that they moved, but they also send me like an email every other day, so I don't read all my dentist newsletters.
Isn't that funny how they do that? Like, and what do those say? New flossing techniques or something?
I don't know. I haven't read them.
Yeah, right.
I guess so, dude. But
that is funny.
But yeah, it's
email blast for my dentist.
So they moved down the road, and I show up like 5 minutes late because I was like, oh hey, like I didn't know you guys moved, and love my dentist. I don't know if this hygienist is still there anymore. She started getting sassy with me for being late, and like, dude, she started like telling everybody like when I was like going to the chair, she's like, oh, we'll have to sit you over here because you're late. Like, you have to be over here. I'm like, oh, well, like maybe like if you guys know that like your Apple Maps isn't like updated to like your correct address, right? Like, right. That might help a little bit.
Literally.
And then, dude, I heard her like, so like I'm sitting in the chair and I hear her and like they're like coordinating on who's gonna do what kind of deal. And she's like, oh yeah, but like he was late, so. Ooh, dude.
Wow.
I'm about to walk out of here.
Literally, I probably would have. Yeah. To be honest, I probably would have walked out.
I kind of wish I would have.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's tough.
I was like telling everybody.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
That's a wild take to have in that situation.
Dude, this lady was like 45 years old too.
Wow.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Sorry I didn't map quest it, Grandma. Sorry I didn't pull out my paper map.
You didn't read our newsletter?
It was in the newsletter. I write those newsletters.
She probably does.
Yeah. That's what it is. She was just upset you didn't read her newsletter.
Yeah, honestly. Hey, I'm sorry.
Well, you're not up to... She goes, well, guess what? Ass for mouth. You're not up to date on the newest flossing techniques. So when those little chiclets fall out, I'm not going to give a shit. You late ass.
Dude, that's probably a conversation she had in the break room after I left.
He's not even using the Hoffman-Forrester method anymore. Ooh.
Is that a method of exercise? That sounds legit.
Yeah. The Hoffman-Forrester flossing technique.
Dude, if that's not a flossing technique, it needs to be.
Oh. Yeah.
Dude,
do you still go to that dentist?
I do. They've been good. They've been good since.
That's
good. I haven't seen that hygienist since.
It's crazy how like, dude, but that is a good reminder though, right? Like of how one interaction you could just be like, nope. See you. Never coming back.
Thought about it.
I'm out.
I thought about it.
Yeah. If it's like one of those things where it's like, if you didn't have the convenience of already being like set up with them where you could just like, they just whatever, you probably, you know what I mean? It's like, if I didn't have to find a dentist or like took my insurance or whatever, like,
Dude, everything. Dude, if you're talking with people, dude, you're in customer service, man.
Amen.
Yeah, you can't be rude.
No.
Not like even if it was justified, even if you guys hadn't moved and I show up late, you don't handle it that way.
No. Yeah, it's like one thing to be like, okay, and kind of like maybe, but to like tell it, like to be talking about it.
Yeah. No, she was saying it loud enough so I could hear too.
Yeah. That like reminds me, and I'll tell this story, and I cannot name names, but I'll tell this story of the very first jiu-jitsu place that I ever went to.
Mm.
And I remember showing up, it was recommended to me, and I went there, and like I'm talking loner gi first class. Like I had never done jiu-jitsu really. Like I did some like BS jiu-jitsu stuff in college, but like never done any like real jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, they literally have to give me a gi to wear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I go in, I'm kind of just sitting there after I got changed, and I'm like, I don't really know what's going on. I don't know if I'm allowed to get on the mats, because like I knew like some places they're kind of like weird about that. It's like, you gotta like bow in, bow out. Like there's a lot of different, there's just like, it's a whole thing.
I mean, I don't know anything about it, and I would probably be like nervous to do anything kind of deal. Yeah.
And then I saw a couple people like bow in and like get on the mat like independently. Like as they were ready, they just bow in. And I was like, okay, I guess I just need to bow and like get on the mat.
Right.
So I bowed in, I got on the mat, and I started stretching because it's kind of what some other people were doing. And I hear this guy legitimately, like it's a decent sized place. So it's like this dude's probably 20 feet away from me, and he's a pretty big dude, pretty heavy set guy. And I hear him talking to two other people, but like facing me, saying, I love it when big guys show up and think they're tough shit and get fucking stomped. And I'm sitting there, and he looks at me, and I'm like, he can't be talking about me. Like,
right. That would be crazy.
That would be madness if he was talking about me. I'm like,
what did I do to think I'm tough shit?
I'm like, am I stretching wrong? Did my stretching offend you? Like, I don't like, and I'm like, literally, like, he has to be just telling a story or like something's going on. And I'm like, okay, like whatever. Class starts, we kind of start running around and kind of drilling and getting started. And he's not my partner or anything. I'm working with another guy, and drilling ends. And after drilling, then it like you have like time to actually roll. And the owner of the gym, the black belt there, like approached me and was like, hey, are you comfortable to roll? Because at the time, like I think I thought I knew more than I did, because I had done a little bit of like BS college jiu-jitsu stuff. I say college jiu-jitsu, like there was a gym that I went to when I was in college, but it was like nobody knew what they were doing back then. At least my gym didn't. So I'm like, yeah, like I feel comfortable. I've wrestled some, and it's like I've done some grappling. Like I feel fine. Like I'm not gonna get hurt.
More than just I have no experience at all.
Right.
But pretty minimal.
And he's like, okay. And so like it's pretty traditional that you just like whoever you're drilling with is like your first round, because you've already been working together. So it's just like, hey, you and I, let's go together. So I go with that guy, and it's fine. Like, he's a blue belt, so he obviously had like quite a bit more experience than I had, a couple of years on me. And so he, beats me pretty handily because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I'm like pretty wore out. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm pretty dusted. If anybody's like ever done their first jiu-jitsu class, your first round, you are smoked. Right?
No, you haven't done that before. You're not prepared for it.
So they've got a pretty big mat too. And that round ends, and I look up, and the dude who had been like saying big guys, blah, 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 get stomped, beelines it for me. Just walked straight up to me, and it was like, hey, you and me next. And I'm like,
this is going to be fun.
And I'm like, okay, like that's fine, And he's a big dude. Like he's probably like 6 foot. Between like, I'm trying to remember, it's been years now. He's probably between like 6 foot and 6'2". He's probably like 250 to 280, like pretty heavy set, like not in great shape, but a big guy.
Yeah.
And also a blue belt.
Yeah.
And so again, got multiple years of experience on me. And we start going and whatever, and like he gets topside, and he literally just like essentially just goes, it's called knee on belly. And like as it sounds, like I'm laying down, and he literally has his knee in my stomach. And it's just got his hands hooked around the back of my neck, and it's just pressing his knee into my stomach as hard as he can. It's not really a jiu-jitsu move. It's just kind of like being an asshole with like pressure and stuff. And I couldn't get out. Like I didn't know how to get out. And I'm like, this is pretty miserable. So like I tapped and like, let's reset, you know? Well, I tap and like right after I tap, like the round ends and he just kind of like laughs at me. And I'm like, whoa, like, okay. And like, slaps the dude next to him and goes, yeah, I got that fucking dude to tap to pressure. And I'm like, hey man, did I do something to like offend you? Because like this is my first day.
Right.
Like literally this is my first day. And like if I did something wrong or that I wasn't supposed to, I promise it was out of ignorance and not out of like malice. Like
right.
my bad if I like offended you. And he just like kind of scoffed and whatever. And the owner of the gym walked over and was like, because kind of noticed that like something was going on, and he was like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, man, I don't know, like I feel like I offended him and I don't know what I did, and like I'm trying to apologize, but like he's
right.
I just don't know, like I'm not trying to be a problem. It's like my first day and I just don't understand like what's happening. Like he's, since the moment I got here, like he's been saying like pretty negative things towards me. And so he kind of looks at that guy and then he looks back at me and he goes, it's okay. Like you and I will roll next. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's fine. He then stops class. The owner of this gym stops class. He's not a big guy at all. He's a pretty small man. Takes us to the middle of the mat, has the entire class circle around us, and for the next 5 minutes just beats the brakes off of me in front of everybody. Right? Like he's a literal black belt, like a 12 plus years training black belt, right? And don't get me wrong, like he's like 140 pounds. Like he's not a big guy, but like jiu-jitsu, it's a big part of it. Is like, you know, size can matter, but not always, right? And so he just beats the shit out of me, right? And then after the round ends, stands up, has me go get in the circle with everybody else, and then gives a speech about how that's proof that jiu-jitsu size doesn't matter and that the smaller man can always beat the bigger man if he knows jiu-jitsu better. Bro.
Dude. Like I'm like, okay. I understand using it, you know, real easy example. And like, obviously that's a big thing with jujitsu and, which is cool. But to sacrifice potential new members to like, and it's like, that's the thing is I think they probably don't even realize that they're like, hey, like nobody's ever going to want to come back.
Do you know how many future members he's lost directly because of me? Countless.
Yeah.
Because I'm honest with people.
Yeah.
When people are like, hey, where should I train?
Yeah.
I have a list of recommendations and I have one place that I say, I wouldn't go there.
Yeah. For real though. Because
Right.
that's like you're subject to potentially that experience, or at least someone that is that ignorant to allow that experience to happen.
Oh, it's the gym. Right?
Jeez. Yeah.
And
which is why, like, I was thinking, like, oh, it's like that's why you have to be careful about, you know, who you have as members. And I know Jason Deadman, when he had him on, he was very adamant about like turning people away that didn't have the right attitude, because you end up with people like that like scare people off, man. That can be bad for the gym. And it's like, man, that makes a lot of sense.
And then imagine Jason being like, oh, my guy who goes here who's a blue belt who knows better is being an asshole to you. And then Jason's like, let me take you out and beat the shit out of you in front of everybody to like prove a point.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Did I do something to like, other than just be the size that I am born like to grow into, like other than that, like have I done anything to make you guys think?
Like I've not said more than like 10 words to anybody here.
Jeez.
And like,
is that place still in business?
Yeah, they are.
Well, I mean, good for them. It sounds like, I'm gonna guess they probably haven't lost a whole lot of members, because I can't imagine they're gaining a whole lot.
It's crazy.
Yeah. My
thing now, the thing I struggle with, Laurel and I were talking about this because I was telling this story at my gym the other day, because it's comes up like once a year, like somebody will tell a bad experience.
That does really suck for them. That, I mean, not really, like I don't feel bad, but like it sucks for them that like you ended up actually really getting into jiu-jitsu.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
a purple belt now, right?
Yeah.
You're a purple belt, and not just that, but like you are probably one of like the most like known just because of like a lot because of Triad, because you go to all jujitsu gyms.
I go everywhere. I know, like, there is not a gym in town that I don't know. I don't know the owner and like high ranking members by first name. And like, it's not a story I openly tell a lot, but I will tell it at my gym. Or if somebody that I care about, maybe they come into the store or whatever, like we're super blessed. Like the Yukon Mustang area has like a bunch of awesome gyms. Like you just can't go wrong. Yeah. Like, and that's a really cool thing because they're like, hey, I was thinking about checking out this place or this place or this place. And I'm like, dude, you literally can't go wrong. They're all great gyms. They have slightly different demographics, slightly different like philosophies, but like the three like closest gyms to us are like Jason Deadman at Black Flag, Chaser Raggy at Yukon Martial Arts,
which is right behind.
Yeah. And then Rob up at Conquest. And those are like three of my favorite gyms in the metro. Like they're all awesome.
Yukon killing it.
Their members are awesome. And there's more than just that. Like those are just like the three closest ones, but they are like so cool. Like all three of those gyms I would go and just have a blast with, and I'd walk in and they'd be through the roof excited that I was like coming to hang out for the day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, that's an experience that can exist. And then it's like you have this other gym where the experience is slightly different. And I have people all the time, like whether, obviously if it's in like a Yukon area, I'm like, there's like 6 gyms in the Yukon, Mustang, Bethany area. And like, you can't go wrong with any of them. Like they're all awesome.
Yeah.
Right. But then it'll be somebody from like a different store. Maybe somebody hit me up on Instagram or something and ask my recommendations. And they are always like, hey, where should I go? And where are places I should avoid? And I'm like, well,
if you're going to ask what you should avoid.
Yeah. And I will tell you. And they'll be like, why? And I'll tell them the story. I'll tell you the story. I'll tell you the truth of the story of like from my perspective, what happened. Yeah. And it's like, and you've known me for fucking how long now? Like God, how long have we known each other?
Fuck, dude. I was telling somebody that knew
12 or 13 years?
Since I've been 19, so yeah, close to almost 13. It'll be 13 years in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You've known me for 13 years.
Dude,
how many times have you ever seen me instigate like a fight or an altercation or anything ever?
Yeah, that's not you.
Literally never.
You're the one usually laughing and trying to diffuse.
Right, exactly. So it's like, and that's where it's nice because it's like people who know me know that I would not go down there to try to be like, ugh, you know what I mean? Right. Especially like my first day. I literally don't know what I'm doing.
Right,
like,
dude.
Like, come on.
You'd be an idiot to go in a jujitsu class. Your first time taking any jujitsu class and assume that you can just beat people up.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
But now because I've like told like some of my coaches and different people, a number of people have heard the story. Now they're like really getting behind the idea of us going back down there. and they're like, the thing that's funny is they're like, he's not a good black belt. Like, yeah, he could beat a fresh first day, but they're like, Thomas, you beat the brakes off of him now. And I'm like, oh, there's a part of me that I want to go back down there and like take my revenge.
Yeah, dude. Oh, it would be so sweet. It would be so sweet.
It would be interesting to do. I doubt I will, but it's I've seen him around like some competitions and stuff.
Does he remember you?
No, he doesn't remember me, but I'll be like, hey man. And he'll be like, oh, hey, what's up? And I'll be like, man, I don't know if you know this, but I took my first ever jiu-jitsu class with you. And he'll be like, really? And he's like, well, do you still do jiu-jitsu? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, I'm a purple belt. And he's like, oh, okay. Why just one class? And I'm like, man, I don't know. It just wasn't for me, I guess.
I was curious what kind of explanation you gave.
Yeah. I think I told him something along those like, man, I think it just wasn't for me. I think I just didn't fit. It just didn't fit in, I guess.
Nah. There's gyms like that. And this is,
you were actually a huge prick.
Believe it or not, man. Dude, there's definitely, and not that I've really been any like, dude, I have not had an experience like that in a like a traditional gym.
I've had an experience like that anywhere at anything ever. like
this is one of those people that
like that's just like
happens.
Yeah, you're like, that's like not an experience like at a business that wants me to pay like over $100 a month to come here.
Right. And you're just gonna that's what I get for that.
Right.
Is I get to be the punching bag, the example of how you guys can beat me up.
And I think his thought process had to be like, here's an opportunity for me to show my members how beneficial this is. But it's like, you could do that without this. You could do that without doing it the way that you did it. And like,
maybe do it with someone that has been around for
a student who's like, dude, you're a black belt. You should be able to do that to a blue belt or whatever.
Right.
Or a striped white belt that's been here for a while, where you could be like, hey man, like, by the way, I'm going to go a little harder. Sorry. Like just good. I'm going to
even ask like ahead of time, like, hey, do you mind if I kind of use you as an example, like kind of deal, like and put you into the right mindset. That way you're not trying to fight for your life. And then I don't have to go so hard to prove this example.
Well, literally my coach, like Bill's one of the strongest fucking dudes ever, but he's one of my coaches. He's like the guy who coaches my morning class. And like, I'm bigger than most people, but like I'm bigger than Bill. And like his go-to thing, and I totally understand why, and I grasp it and I appreciate it, is like he'll show the move on somebody and then be like, oh, Thomas, come here. And then he'll be like, if you got a big guy who's like, he might be hard to reach through here or do whatever, he's like, here's how you would kind of alter the move for somebody who's like bigger and stronger or whatever. And I'm like, I'm happy to be the dummy on that. Like fucking all
specific
day.
Move.
Right. Like this is great. Like that's,
you're more, you know each other. So you know, like there's a good intent.
Right.
Dude,
and Bill will sometimes grab a roll with me and beat the shit out of me just because he feels like it. But it's like, I've been fucking training for 4.5 years. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't know. I probably looked at him. I don't know. Like I pissed him off somehow, or he's just feeling it. But it's like, you know, it's fine. But it's not my fucking first day.
Yeah. Where you're nervous and like trying to like make sure you're doing everything right.
And I don't know a soul. I don't know a single human being in there. Like jujitsu, like this is one of the things that they always like the joke. It's not a joke because it is like true, but it's like, Kevin, what's the hardest belt to achieve in jiu-jitsu?
Black belt?
No, white belt, because it's the hardest thing to do is to walk in the door the first time, right? And that's like the adage that people always say about jiu-jitsu. It's like a black belt just takes time. You got to walk in the fucking door for the first time in a terrifying environment, like where you're probably not going to know anybody. You might know one person and like decide you're going to go do this crazy sport that most people don't understand why the fuck we do. And so it's like white belt's the hardest one. So it's like somebody like, and obviously it was me, but it's like somebody went out on a limb to like go and do this. And then you were like, you know what I mean? It's like for a lot of people, like, you know, and not even just specific to that story or specific to me, but it's like situations like that could make somebody like never want to do it again. Like never want to go and do it again. Like if you did that to like, I don't know, like a lot of people, like they'd be like, fuck this. Like, why the hell would I want to go do that?
I was going to say, man, you're kind of lucky that you were in at least a positive mindset to continue to try it again somewhere else, because what's the chances you have that experience again? Like that's just jujitsu.
Yeah. Right. Luckily. I guess I needed to find out.
Luckily, luckily
it was the start of my origin story, actually.
What actually lit the fire? Why you do jujitsu today?
Yeah. Right. It's to go back to that gym, to that black belt. And beat him to a pulp.
I do like it's been a while, but I think there was a couple of videos that came out at one point of I think one of your coaches like show it. It was like kind of a parody video of like, hey, here's another example of why size doesn't matter in jiu-jitsu as long as as long as you're smart and you have proper technique, and and it's like if you find yourself in this situation where there's a bigger guy on top of you, if you just do this, he should be able to, and like it always ended with like you just picking them up. Of like, hey, size does make a difference in jiu-jitsu. You can't pretend like it doesn't.
No,
but like,
it definitely does.
But like the mindset, like you can't just pretend like it's totally one way or totally the other way. Like I think it's ignorant. Like it's just like, hey, like the whole idea is to make sure that a small person has a much better fighting chance against a big person if you use proper techniques. Like you can, and I think that it helps kind of even the playing field in that way. But yeah, it's to pretend like it's like it doesn't matter in jiu-jitsu at all is kind of ignorant.
Try to and
I don't do jiu-jitsu at all. So
just to try to be like, I have an opportunity here to wreck this guy's experience, but maybe slightly impress my people. Yeah. And you're like, okay, dude, but so it is just funny to like think about, because I do wonder like how many people haven't gone there because of me directly.
Yeah. Well, I can't feel bad.
Suck butts, ass mouth.
It was the dentist.
Yeah,
it was the dentist. Man, I was talking to, I only got to meet him very briefly, so his name's going to escape me, but it's a guy that owns Lion Fitness in Edmond. He said he knows you just a little bit. I think you guys like met at a party. Dude with real long hair.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, names. I only got to meet him very briefly.
Him and Samantha. I know Samantha's the other one. You keep talking. I'm trying this guy's name.
He was it was really funny. Like I had to like really think about it for a second. Like he was just like, met him briefly and like, finding mutual friends and it was complimenting his gym. He's got a cool facility for sure. It's definitely set up a lot for coaching and training. Charlie, that's who it was. Super cool dude.
Yeah, he is a cool dude. Yeah, I met him a number of times actually. Nice. He's super cool.
Nice. But yeah, he brought you up. He was just like, he's like, I know Thomas. Like, I've gotten to just kind of see him out and like, I guess sounds like mutual friends. And I was just like, oh yeah, like I work with Thomas, and he was like, oh dude, that's awesome, man. Like, are you guys like did you like know each other? Like he like asked like a little bit more. I was like, oh dude, Thomas, like I met Thomas when I was a freshman in college. Dude.
The good old days.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Charlie's super cool. Yeah, they're super cool. Seems like I haven't been over to their facility, but I've heard it's super neat. Yep. And they we've got just like mutual friends. So one of Laurel's bridesmaids, AB Annabelle, she's one of the best. Like I genuinely love her as like a friend, and not just like a friend to Laurel, but like a friend to me too. But she is like, dude, she is one of like, she's a killer hostess, I guess.
With the mostest.
That she's the hostess with the most. But it's like, we'll get there and it'll be like, oh, we're having a Christmas party. The whole house is decorated. There's all sorts of food, like all sorts of, she like goes above and beyond like every single time.
Dude,
to, like, host
that's a lot of work, dude.
Dude, a ton of work.
Dude, just cleaning your house for people to come over is a lot of work, dude.
Dude. And she's like, she'll have like games on the TV going, like all sorts. Like she goes all out, super intentional with all that, and she'll just like invite everybody over. And Charlie and Sam are friends of hers and friends of ours now too. Yeah. But they got, so I always see them whenever like AB's doing something, we'll go and kind of be a part of it too, and they're always there. And so he's always super cool to talk to, because he always wants to talk about just business and just like how his gym's doing and stuff. And so super cool.
Yeah, I'm supposed to. I think we're gonna go get coffee at some point sometime, because I know he's really starts like, sounds like he's gaining some traction with the gym and doing some big things, and I think getting kind of involved with supplements. So just wanted to, I think, bounce some ideas off each other. So and I always love hearing from other business owners too. It's kind of fun to talk about that stuff. So yeah,
he does have, dude. He has luscious locks,
dude. That's
long hair.
I was working out with a guy, Ryan Dixon, who is a coach, and I see him at the gym sometimes. He listens to the podcast, so shout out to you, Ryan. Appreciate the workout on Friday, the chest workout. Still a little sore. Ooh. But that's how he described him. He was just like, all right, there's going to be a guy that comes over here, real long hair. That's Charlie. He owns the place.
Yeah.
It's real easy to spot.
Yeah. They're super cool though.
Yeah, super cool. I'm excited to get to know him a little bit better.
Heck yeah, man.
How's the wedding planning going?
It's good. It's interesting. Like, you guys having such a small wedding was smart. And it's like, when we're having a small wedding too.
I was just going with the flow.
Yeah.
I didn't make any. That was all Alyssa's call.
Yeah, I know.
I don't just to preface, or just to let everybody know, I don't deserve any credit for that.
Yeah, we know. But it's good. We're in the everyone complain about everything phase, which is like,
oh, dude, even being small, we had people complaining.
Yeah, and it's like
maybe less, but
yeah, it's like okay, like my problem is, and I get too much this way, where it's like if somebody complains twice to me, my like typed answer that I'm like hovering over send is like, okay, like you don't have to come. Like
yeah,
like I love you, would love it if you're there, but like if you don't come, okay,
right, dude, that's so weird to me, man. Like I feel like it's just common knowledge that like when you're planning a wedding, you're pretty stressed. Like I remember I messaged someone recently and I hesitated to even ask them a question. I was like, I bet somebody else that's going to this wedding knows the answer. But then I hesitated on who was invited and who wasn't. So I didn't want to run that risk. But I was simply just asking about like there was like 2 hotels listed. And I was like, hey, like, is there like a hotel for the cool kids? And a hotel but I hesitated to do that because it's like, dude, there's probably a handful of people have asked this question. You're probably getting stressed about answering it. And it's just like, so I can't even imagine like complaining.
They'll do it.
People are wild, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, and like the thing that's fun is it's like I expected it from like parents and stuff, but now it's like friends too. And you're like, okay. Like
making this leading into this wedding a lot of fun.
Yeah, right. And
like
it's
I'm
like,
getting married, you know.
Right. And like it'll be fun and everybody will have fun once they
dude,
get
it
there.
will be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be amazing. Going to view the place was super cool. So one of the super neat things is, so anybody who doesn't know, Laurel and I are getting married literally right outside of Zion National Park. Like the back of the house that everyone's staying at literally looks out over Zion. Like all the mountains of Zion are literally like, it is right there. It is 15 minute drive, and we're on a dirt road, so it's like it takes 10 minutes to get back to the main road, and then it's like 5 minutes to the gate. Like you are literally looking at Zion National Park.
Damn.
The Virgin River, which is like the Narrows, which is like one of the most famous hikes at Zion, it's literally like a half river, half trail hike where it's like, you know, you rent like duck boots and like you hike down the Narrows.
I think not to brag, but I think I did that one as a kid.
Yeah,
dude.
And so it's
one
like
of my favorite fucking play. Like, dude,
so cool. And it's
cool.
like you're in this like you're walking through these giant rock cliffs. It's like all this crazy stuff. We talked about doing it, but it's like it's a real twist your ankle kind of guy. And I'm like, maybe not right before the wedding, like just in case. But the Virgin River runs through the Narrows. That is the river that is that river you hike. The Virgin River runs. So we're on 20 acres. The Virgin River runs through the property like 700 feet from the house.
Holy shit.
Yes. Like you can literally, the lady was like, oh, like just drive all the way up the dirt road and there's a bridge with stairs. And she's like, just get some like inner tubes from Walmart that are like $1. And she's like, it'll take you an hour and a half to float back to the house. And she's like, you guys can float the Virgin River back to the house.
Dude, I'll do that fucking every day.
Literally, dude. Like that's so dope.
Do that every day, dude. Chilling in an inner tube, just fucking cruising, dude. I'm looking forward to this, man.
And so there's like all sorts of stuff like at the house to do. So it's like you'll literally be in the pool and like turn around from the house and you'll be like, oh yes, there's Mount whatever, you know, from Zion, because there's like one big main mountain,
Mount Zion.
Yeah, maybe. But it's like it's fucking right there. So super cool. The house is amazing. It's awesome. It's huge. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It was really cool talking to the lady because she was telling us the last 2 guests that they had. Which obviously was like a different situation than what we're doing because we're having like, hey, 38 people help us pay for this. Yeah. But the last 2 guests that before we went and visited were obviously a much smaller group, but was Alicia Keys. It was Alicia Keys and Daniel Radcliffe, like Harry Potter.
What the fuck?
Yeah. dude. And like obviously they were there for like different reasons than what we're there for.
Yeah, they were probably like had a few friends kind of deal.
Yeah, because like apparently like Alicia Keys wanted to hike the Narrows, and because like there's this big grand piano in like the main living room, and we're like, oh, that's super cool. And she's like, yeah, she's like, anybody you know coming play piano? And we're like, I don't think so, you know. And she's like, yeah, actually, they were cleaning up, and they were like, well, actually, this last like week, Alicia Keys was here, and she played the piano for all of us. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
she gonna do that while with her?
Yeah, she better be. But and then freaking Harry Potter stayed there, dude.
Trace and Sadie we'll be hyped about
that.
I
tell you what, dude. I was like, Laurel and I were joking that we were gonna raffle off so you could sleep in the bed that Harry Potter slept in. You could poop in the toilet Harry Potter pooped in,
dude. Just once.
Everybody will get a turn.
That'll be my wedding present to me.
Yeah, perfect.
I appreciate that, Thomas.
You're like, how dare you poop where he pooped?
Fuck, I don't know if I'm worthy.
But yeah, so that's like crazy, you know, and it's just super cool. Like the main living room is it's so big that they have like two like 80-inch TVs. One's on one side and another one's on the other side because it's just like massive.
Jeez.
But it's going to be super cool just to like have everybody be there for like multiple days. Like, so it's going to be super fun to kind of be able to do that and just have everybody together and like it's going to be a blast.
At the house too, man.
So much to do and a lot of like do whatever you want. Also, like
there's enough people too that we don't all. There's too many to feel like you have to do everything together.
Right. Like we don't like that was a big thing because Laurel was like we're building the itinerary and she's like, well, do we like plan? And I'm like, nah, dog. Like I ain't trying to plan for 38 people. Like we literally got this place because like. You walk out back and there's like, they built a movie theater out back, like in like this big like garage thing that's like air conditioned and everything. There's like a literal like 20 recliner seat like movie theater. Jeez. And you're like, I don't give a shit what people, if you want to be in the pool all day, don't care. You want to go like, you want to get in your car and drive to town, do it.
Right.
Like there's down the road also from where we are, like if you keep going down the dirt road, it's on the property. They just bought it, but it used to not be. So it like says like a private drive, but you can go down there. But it's like a legit Western town that's like abandoned and that like literally used to be
not one of those like fake pop-up ones.
No, like it's a like real Western town that's just like this small Western town that's abandoned. And apparently Kevin Costner shot like a bunch of like Western movies at that like place, and so we get like it's like 5 minutes down the road, and it's like nobody else has access to it but us. And so it's like, yeah, you want to go to Kevin Costner's like Western town? All right, well, let's go. You know,
dude.
Yeah,
well, so there's a lot of history at this place,
dude. It's super cool, man. And so it's gonna be super exciting to just like be there and like have plenty of stuff to do. So again, like you want to float the river? I don't care. Float the river. Like I don't want to micromanage everybody. It's like, hey, like. Let's do this. Like one day we've got like the Zion day where it's like, hey, it's going to be warm. We're going to leave at like 7 a.m.
Right.
Let's go get a hike before it gets too hot and a million people get there. Let's have lunch at the park and then come back and get in the pool, hang out, take a nap. I don't give a shit. Read a book. Like go for a walk.
With that many people, dude, you know, like you plan anything with a group of people and 25% of them are going to have issues or not want to do it. Or
right.
And sometimes they're outspoken about it. Sometimes they're not, but it's I think you just kind of let things right. kind of happen, dude. There's enough to do.
There's a basketball court. There's 2 pickleball courts. Like,
there's enough there that you don't have to
literally here. Just
right.
Run on, kids. Have fun.
You know who's because like, dude, that's right up my like. I'll have a blast. So that'll be a lot of fun.
I'm gonna be in hog heaven, brother.
But Alyssa's gotten really excited about it.
Yeah.
I think she's had enough time to plan of like, because obviously that'll be kind of our first time both away from Riley.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been out of town away from Riley. I think only once for more than a day, and
it's gotta be weird.
Yeah, and like never the both of us. She slept over. She stayed with my parents and sister and whatnot one night, but that was literally just like overnight kind of deal. We're still here in town, and but I think she's had enough time to like mentally prepare and like think through it all, and like being out of town and whatnot. I think she's getting really excited to have some time to just
well, it'll be nice too because it'll be like. Obviously, you guys are going to miss Riley, but it's like going to be one of those things where it's like you guys are going to have fun. You'll be excited to get back home. Yeah. And it's like it's kind of the best of both worlds. You know what I mean? Like it becomes kind of a cool thing where it's just like, hey, like we're going to go and have a good time and then it'll be over and we come back and it's like, that's it.
But no, kudos to her too, because like I know, like, especially like her personality and the position that she's in, like that's stressful. Like it's stressful to like, that's a lot to like, there's a lot that could go wrong. There's a lot that could like, there's a lot to prepare for. And it just, it could make you really anxious. So, kudos to her for getting to the point where she is actually really excited about it. So it'll be fun.
No, I'm excited too. And I think the group that we have going is going to, the thing that's like made me laugh is that, the obnoxious group message that exists.
I apologize if I offend anybody, but I did mute that thing.
I don't blame you. I muted it. So
I go through every once in a while and make sure there's nothing important that I miss.
Right. No.
Alyssa updates beyond anything that's important. Honestly.
Right. Because it's, and I laugh.
It could be worse, honestly.
Yeah, it could be. It's not perfect though. But the thing that's funny is it's all Laurel's friends. None of my friends are like the ones being stupid in it, which is pretty funny because my friends are stupid, right? Like, don't get me wrong. Like,
I mean, look at me.
Yeah, we're looking at you. But it's like my bachelor party group chat is dumb.
Gets a little risque in there.
Yeah, because James is in there. But yeah, it has made me laugh that I'm like, I don't know. There's only been like 3 text messages total in the wedding group chat that have been sent by my friends, and I'm like, oh, all my friends hate this. Like all my friends hate this group because I would hate this group message.
I like the bachelor party group, the Tommy's Loaf.
Tommy's Loaf. I'm getting a loafed.
Okay. Now I get it. I wasn't going to question it.
I don't think James thought that, but maybe he did. I don't know.
He's the one that named that, didn't he?
Yeah. But it's dude, it's just going to be a blast. Like, I think just having everybody, and again, like the downstairs of the house has like a shuffleboard. It's got foosball. It might have a pool table if I remember correctly, but it's got a bunch of couches, places to hang out, like a whole place to like set up a bar set up. And then there's like another room that's got like just couches and a TV. And then there's like 2 bathrooms down there with like showers and stuff. But one of the cool things is that one that there's a sauna down there too, which is super neat too. So that'll be fun.
That'll be dope.
But dude, yeah, there's just like freaking endless stuff to do.
Yeah. It'll be fun, man. We'll be there for a while too, not just like a weekend too.
Yeah, right. Because it's Thursday through Monday.
Yeah. Ceremony Sunday. Yeah. That's cool.
Ceremony Sunday.
Cool. A lot of lead up to it.
Yeah. Well, and that was like the big thing for us was it was like we wanted, because so many people talk about the wedding, just like their wedding being like, you're just shaking hands and saying hi to people over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's like, for us, it's like 38 of the 50 guests are sleeping in the house. So it's like Trace going to come up to me and be like, hey, and I'm going to be like, I've spent a week with you, brother. Get away. You know what I mean? Like we don't have to have that like, hey, thanks for coming like thing. We'll do that with like 12 total people. And then it's like the rest of the time it's just us all hanging out, laughing. I'm sure telling stories from the last 4 days that we were there and like just laughing and like having a good time. You know what I mean?
That will be nice. Dude, I definitely did that like at our reception. Because we did immediate family only up at my family's property. And the following day we did like a picnic for like, it was a lot of my parents' friends and like family, like extended family, just kind of hanging out for the day. Yeah. But we did a reception here in Oklahoma City and just, we rented out for just a few hours. We rented out Fassler's, which was actually a really good deal and super cool. They were super supportive. But like there was enough people there that I don't see super regularly, that I felt like I had to like say hi and like have a small conversation with everybody. Luckily, I think a big one was a lot of my pledge brothers from Teague came to town. Luckily, they came like more like earlier in the day and checked in, and like we all met at a bar like, I don't know, like early afternoon, like I think it was Sunset Patio or whatever it is downstairs. We met there for like a couple hours before. So I get to catch up with all that. Like everybody that's like, I don't see super often, out of town, people that like, I wanted them to see Oklahoma City. So I felt like that was a cool place for them to see the city as well. Like that was especially before that parking garage was across the street from Fassler's. And like you could see this, the Devon Tower and downtown
really well.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and that's kind of the thing for us too, is it's like, yeah, we want that same thing, but it's like, hey, we'll be like, we've spent 4 days together, you know what I mean? So it's like you really have the opportunity to like catch up with everybody, like hang out, like everybody gets to know each other, and like
dude, I'm sure most weddings are like that, of just saying hi and small quick conversations with everybody,
and then they're like, we don't even remember it.
And then you don't even get like to like spend a ton of time with like the people that you're really close with, kind of, and enjoy the moment with the people that you see more often, because you're trying to catch up with the people you don't see super often. But yeah, dude, that'll be super cool, man. I never thought about that aspect.
It's gonna be neat. And then
be hanging out, partying, like, because it's we've seen each other.
Whatever. Like we've been hanging out all week. You know what I mean?
Or we could all be arguing.
God, I hope so. God, I hope so.
Well, I don't think this group. This is a good group.
Well, and I think it'll be nice too. Like, I think that's one of the super cool things about the bachelor party too, is like got to bring a bunch of like different people together into a group where it's like the bachelor party guys who like got to meet each other at the bachelor party. Like they now have like, you know, like when Zach LaSalle comes, he isn't just like, I'm not the only person he knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't just know me and
know
Laurel.
Dude, Zach fit in like without, he practically didn't skip a beat.
And that's like the thing where it's like, and now he comes in.
I guess he got to be introduced little by little.
Right. Yeah. And then it's like, he gets to come to the wedding, and then it's just like, hey, like, there's Vincent and, you know, and Levi and Chad and everybody.
He was cracking jokes like by the time we were leaving the bachelor party.
He's ready to hop right in with everybody. And so I think that's like that's a big thing too, that makes it like pretty cool.
Do you know what will actually be kind of cool too with the guys that are in or for the groomsmen, is obviously some guys know each other and some guys know each other less, but I feel like because at the bachelor party we did something that was so much of what do you guys call it? Secondhand fun?
Yeah. Tier 2.
Tier 2 fun, where it's like it really sucks in the moment kind of deal, but it's really fun after. I don't know. I had fun.
Super bonding though.
For sure. So we get to all come back and fucking talk about stories and stuff about like climbing that fucking mountain.
Yeah,
dude.
like it's like one of the it's like going through fucking, I don't know. It's like going through some kind of training or something together.
Dude, that's honestly, that is I think a big reason why I'm so close with all my pledge brothers. Yeah. Like I'm close with like everybody in the fraternity, but like not quite like the pledge.
Yeah, because
like
you go through something difficult together.
Yeah, dude. We were fucking like, not to go into too many details, but like we weren't having a great time.
We hazed. Sorry, everybody.
Well, you said, yeah.
We did.
We're not supposed to talk about that.
What are they going to do?
But
it's been a long time. It's been like 10 years.
You know, the active members might not be so happy that the active members, dude, they were probably fucking 11 years old when we were going through pledgeship.
They were younger than that.
Dude, don't tell me that.
Kevin, think about it.
Don't tell me that.
Kevin, think about it. Like they were probably like 8.
Oh, dude.
They're probably 8.
I'm not. Yeah, and I'm not about to have an 8-year-old mad at me.
Yeah. You. Where's your binky? Where's your baba?
All right, champ.
Yeah.
Did you get your nap time in?
Yeah. They told us. You'll be okay.
But yeah, it was like, dude, you're sitting in a, dude, I'm not even gonna say basement. You guys put us in a fucking cave, man. Like It was
like a glorified crawl space.
dude, it was in a house that was like 100 fucking years old. So the basement was like legitimately just fucking rocks. Like it's like rocks with like fucking like
rock and asbestos.
Yeah, rock and asbestos. And
you guys were doing asbestos. You can,
dude. I fucking after that weekend, dude, I came out like blowing my nose, and it was just straight black.
Yeah.
Like, dude. Like boogers that were just straight black. Dude.
You gained brothers and mesothelioma.
Dude,
I think I got the black lung pop.
Dude, I'm suing Teak when I get older and I have to.
You or a loved one were hazed by Teak in the basement.
Dude, yeah, that'll be another phase of all my pledge brothers too, because like you have those the friend group, like your friend group is like you go through phases of like, oh, everybody's getting married now and now everybody's having kids now. We'll hit the mesothelioma phase with like we'll hit 50 and
the
like
class action lawsuit phase. It's gonna be great, dude.
But yeah, dude, you're sleep deprived. You haven't fucking eaten anything, and it's just like, dude, you just get into that slap happy fucking this sucks
just getting
kind
yelled
of
at.
moods. Yeah, and yeah, you get pretty close with the people that are sitting around you,
that's
man.
it, man. Well, it's the same kind of thing. Like,
yeah, no, I'm glad I went through it.
I was
man.
explaining this to somebody the other day that I think you'll think this is an interesting thing too. So the Grand Canyon rim to rim hike, right, is 24 miles long, right? Your elevation gain over 24 miles is 4,100 feet.
Whoa.
Right?
Yeah.
That's your elevation gain.
That's about what we did at Mount Olympus, right?
In 4 miles up. So we did the equivalent. We actually did more. It's about 4,500 feet of elevation gain for Olympus. So we climbed more than what you climbed doing the rim to rim 24-mile hike. Obviously, it's much longer.
Yeah.
But we did the elevation gain over 4 miles.
Yeah, that was crazy, dude. I remember telling my dad, who my dad was when he was younger, was actually a really avid backpacker.
Yeah.
Like kind of like one of those guys that would like just literally put everything on his back and go out for 3 or 4 days at a time and just hike. And this is before cell phones. And even if you had a cell phone, you probably wouldn't have signal.
Yeah, right.
But like literally just go and camp with the stuff that's on your back kind of deal.
Right.
So he's very experienced with all that kinds of
Right.
stuff. And I remember telling him about it, like, cause he was like responding to some of my stories and whatnot, and was pumped about, what's going on a hike and whatnot. And I told him, it was over 4,000 feet in elevation gain, less than 4 miles. And his response really cracked me up. He said, "That's a hoof." Dude, that is the best way to describe that, Dad.
Well, we took a hoof in.
That was a fucking hoof.
Yeah. You either hoof the mountain or the mountain hoofs you.
You don't want that mountain hoofing you.
I think a couple of us got hoofed by the mountain.
Yeah, there was a couple that got hoofed. Dude, I was legitimately like the like mind-blowing thing about it was the fact that you just like we went so long without standing on flat ground. Like all the way up. I guess there was the ridge that was kind of flat.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of a break.
But it took
you
you
go
fucking 5 hours to get
to
there.
get there. And it was just like, dude, it is just all up. There's no fucking flat, man.
Yeah.
Like this is wild.
I was describing it to Laurel. I was like, it's like climbing wobbly stairs for 5 straight hours.
Dude, like exercise wise, yeah, legitimately like just constantly being on the Stairmaster for 5 hours, dude.
But the Stairmaster is made out of rocks that tumble and fall, and nothing's like, you have like no flat footing to like actually put it on.
Dude, yeah, we didn't all make it out without injury, man. There were a couple of us that ate it.
A couple of us took a tumble.
Took a little tumble.
James fell off the mountain twice.
Oh yeah, dude, that's when they were running down though.
Dummies.
Dude, I will say I wasn't doing it at like probably not spots that they were like Vincent and JP were doing it, but like, dude, on your way down, man, like I don't know, like you're using so much energy, just slow yourself down, especially at that angle, man. That you're like, dude, I honestly would just be easier to fucking run, man. Like you just get your legs going, and it's like
it's just stop when I stop.
Yeah, I'd hit some spots where that weren't quite as angled and like mostly straight. I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna run a little bit.
I think this is where like you guys now appreciate too. Vincent and I climbing that mountain in the snow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Like feet of snow. We had snow all the way, like you would slide like it was just ice.
Yeah.
All the way to the switchbacks, all the way to the little waterfall crossing thing you do.
Jeez, dude.
Like
yeah,
from there
crazy.
up and there down.
Dude,
just ice and snow the whole way.
The craziest part to me, I think, is when you like, I know you described this, dude. I remember we had an episode of the podcast where you came, like literally came from the mountain, like flew back, and like you're like drinking Gatorade. Guess what I just did?
Dude,
but I remember you like describing it, but like now being there in person, it definitely like holds a lot more weight of being at the very top, where like you have to like legitimately like use your hands and like climb up that last section of the mountain. Like I think it was like the last 1,000 feet, right?
Yeah.
Is like
you're
you do
like 1,000 feet over like 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah. That honestly was the fun part to me.
So
man.
fun. Dude.
Yeah, dude. It wasn't
so cool.
Like it definitely like was exhausting. Like the first part of like, dude, you're stairmastering it like for a while.
Yeah, that climbing part's a lot more fun.
Yeah, it was super fun, but like definitely more risky.
Yeah.
So, but like the thing that got me is like climbing, like going up, like it was like, okay, like this one thing, like, you know, you might hit some snowy spots and like or like
whatever.
be on snow the whole time, but like still trying to like, you know, you're going up. But like then you get to the top and it's just like, dude, it is thousands of feet down both sides. And when we were up there, it's like a bunch of big boulders and you're kind of like hopping from one boulder to another. And it's like definitely some risky spots of like, you're not walking on flat ground with like 1,000-foot drop on both sides.
It's like you step somewhere, you twist and break your ankle and then fall off 1,000 feet.
Right. And it's like, but I at least had the confidence, like I could play it as safe as I felt or as risky as I felt comfortable because they're boulders. And I like assume that enough people have climbed on them that they're not going to, they're going to move. But like snow, like, dude, that could give.
Dude, that was the thing. Like when we were coming back down and we had to, like, if you remember, like the big climb down part, where it's like if you went off to the left, that was like the ridge was here and then it went off to the left and that was where it had like the big drop off like that we were looking at over the ridge.
Yeah.
We had to snow climb out there and the snow started to give on us as we had to like come back over into the safe spots.
Yeah.
That was like, dude,
you said it was like you guys had to like be conscious of like how quickly you were going because the snow was actively melting.
Oh yeah. Cause it was pretty warm up there. It was like 60 on top.
Honestly, like being like, you kind of probably have to be with Vincent to find yourself in those kinds of situations.
1,000%. I would have never done that without him.
But if you're going to be in those situations, I think I'd rather be with Vincent than most people.
Oh, dude, for sure. Like that was the thing. I was like trying to describe it because Laurel was like, you know, you guys going to be safe? And I'm like, well, we have Vincent who like, Vincent lives here. He's climbed this mountain multiple times. So like he knows what he's doing. This is my second time climbing it. So I know the mountain well enough to like, I wouldn't be leading anybody up this, but it's like, I know what we're doing and where we're going. What we're
Vincent
getting.
shouldn't have probably not have been leading either, though.
Definitely not.
Started off running up that freaking mountain.
Right. But then it's like we have Levi, who is like a literal professional rock climbing photographer, right? Yeah. And we're like, okay, well, he knows what he's doing.
Thousands of these.
Right, dude. Like him and Vincent telling their story of climbing Mount Rainier in a day is bananas. Because you're supposed to altitude acclimate. You're supposed to like sleep on the mountain for multiple.
Oh, really?
Oh,
that high up?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And they were like, the guy was like, hey, you guys got to turn around. Like, you're not going to be able to make it. Like, cause you guys are going to have to like sleep. And then, or he's like, or you could just go now and get altitude sickness. And they just like, and Vincent's like, well, I guess we're going to get altitude sickness. And they just,
did they get altitude sickness?
I'm sure they felt terrible, but they like, dude, they cause it was like melting or something was going on. And it's like, dude, with there you have, cause it's a glacier on top of the mountain. Like Rainier is a glacier.
Oh shit. Okay.
So it's like what you see when you see people like climbing Everest, and it's not Everest, but it's like literally they had to have like ice axes, and like there's like big like cracks in the glacier where they just somebody lays down like a Stanley ladder across it, and you got to walk across. And there was
that's legit.
And there was one where the ladder wasn't there anymore, and they had to jump it.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you don't tell Vincent that you got to turn around or go now.
Yeah, and Vincent's like, well, I guess I'll die. But it's like with that, then like everybody's physically fit and able, but it's like we've also got a firefighter and Zach, who's literally finishing med school, and I'm like, dude, we have a doctor, a firefighter, and like two very experienced people on mountains.
Dude, Trace actually helped someone that was hurt on the mountain, man, like on our way up. Yeah. Like someone was in typical Trace fashion. He's like, well, I took my only moleskin. Yeah. But he helped him out.
Yeah. I was there when that happened because I was taking moleskin from him because I was starting to get a hot spot, and I was like, oh, this is going to fucking suck. And so I was like, hey, can I, he's like, I got moleskin. And I'm like, oh, dope. And so I like cut a piece of moleskin off, and I was like, perfect. And then this like group came down, and they were like, we hear you have moleskin. And he was like, yeah. And they were just like, thanks. Just like took the rest of it.
Trace really was he was really playing his role.
He was in his element.
Being helpful and being willing to do anything, but also be a little grumpy about it.
For sure.
Dude, I love grumpy Trace stuff.
Yeah. like he'd be in a car crash and be like, nah, he took my last saline bag. Well, I guess I don't have any saline anymore. Those are my good scissors. But yeah, like I think
that's a fun group,
dude. It is so much fun. But again, like going through something like that, like it builds a different bond, man.
For sure, man. Yeah,
it's that is like
I think back to that fondly, man. It was only like I don't know, a month or two ago, not
right?
even. But yeah, no, that was super fun, man.
Well, like when I tell people that, like, I averaged a 175 heart rate for 11 hours. You're like, oh, like now that you've climbed the mountain, you're like, oh yeah, like I get it.
Yeah.
Because it took us 11 to get up, and it took us 8 when we did it.
Yeah.
It took Vincent and I 11 in the snow.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because you're post holing, like you're just like, you can't even stand.
Yeah.
And so it's like, even when you have ground, you're just like falling into the snow, sliding all over the place.
Yeah,
like
that's crazy,
dude.
Man.
And I was like, I was like 100, I think it was 178 beats for an average for 11 hours.
Yeah, dude.
So you burned 22,000 calories.
Dude, we really didn't stop too much either, man. I know we stopped on the ridgeline to eat, and we would take like pretty short breaks. Oh yeah, when we got hailed on, we took a little break.
We saw all 4 seasons.
Dude, I got I know I shared this picture with you, but or you've seen it because it's one Levi took with this drone, but dude, like the background of my phone,
dope.
I thought it was super cool because it has you, me, Chad, Vincent, Zach, JP, and Trace all in there.
Mm-hmm. And then Salt Lake City in the background.
And yeah, but like I love having this because like when people ask about that, because like I posted about it and everybody was like, you climbed a fucking mountain? And I'm like, dude, it was a legit mountain. Like you sit at the bottom, you look at that and you're like, there ain't no question.
Yeah.
That ain't no hill.
No.
That's a mountain.
Ain't no Mount Scott.
Yeah. No. But like I love sharing this picture because like the back, like there's like haze in between us and the bottom of the mountain. Mm-hmm. Like there are clouds like covering like that cover like the roads and the houses and whatnot. And you're like, oh yeah. And it's like, dude, that's where we started.
That drone footage was so dope.
Yeah. And that helped do it justice, man. Like
there was a point where it was like Zach and I, when we were coming up the mountain, and we had like stopped to pee or something, and we looked out and there was a helicopter flying out, and we could see the top of the helicopter from where we were, and we weren't even like close to the top of the mountain.
Jeez. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, we weren't even at the ridgeline when you guys stopped.
No, not even close. Like we were 2 hours from the ridgeline.
Gosh, yeah, that was fun. I get it why people do. Like I think when we finished that, I was like, dude, that was super dope. Like super fun. I'm glad we did it. Like I don't know if I'm a big mountain climber, but like now that it's been like a month or two, I'm like, fuck, I could do another one of those.
Type 2 fun.
Type 2 fun. Yeah,
right, that's what it is.
And then I'll be in the middle of it and be like, why the fuck did I do this again?
Right. It's like tattoos. Tattoos are type 2 fun.
Yeah.
Where you're like, while you're getting it, you're like, what the fuck? Why do I do this? And then it's like a couple months later, you're like, I mean, it wasn't that bad, right?
Yeah. I gotta That's a cool idea.
Yeah, 1,000%. It's like that's the thing where it's funny because we're kind of talking about it because Laurel was like, "Oh, you guys going to do like multiple hikes while you're, in Salt Lake?" And I'm like, "No, no. It's a one and doneer."
Dude, I was fucking cooked walking around the outlet mall the next day.
For real.
Dude, I obviously I'm not a big a huge shopper, but like, dude, I'm game for whatever. Like, dude, like I'm go with the flow. But I was having a lot of fun because we were going into like a lot of camping stores of finding like the most comfortable chair or hammock. Like, because like I was like I'm like at home, like I like definitely like have like really broken sleep and like not great. So I'm just like I'm gonna get a little rest here. We'll get like find a nice chair, take a little nap. Dude, I get like all those dads in like department stores napping on chairs.
Yeah,
I
the
get
dad
it.
chair.
I'm that guy now.
Yeah, dude, it's funny because I was like telling Laurel too because I was like my watch. I don't know how accurate it is, but my watch tracks my like O2 saturation too.
Yeah.
It's like a oximeter, something like that.
I honestly don't know.
I think something like that. Dude, when we woke up the next morning, my O2 was like 92%, which is not good.
Yeah, I know you said your sleep tracking was not looking good.
I slept that night, and that is the only time prior or since that I've ever had a zero recovery while sleeping a full night.
Dude, you know what's funny is like, dude, those we were there 2-3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those were the only couple of nights that I got unbroken sleep in a long time.
Oh yeah,
I got great sleep.
Yeah, I bet.
That was nice, dude. I'm in bed, a full size bed myself.
Dude, tell you what, man.
Dude, yeah, that was fun, man. That was a lot of fun.
That was such a blast.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, I think it'll be super cool to be able to recreate some of that stuff at the wedding and like, and the rest. And like Laurel's friends are super cool.
Yeah.
And like everybody's going to fit in really well together, and it's going to be a lot of fun for that.
Yeah, that's cool to have a group that's willing to do that kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And then again, there's enough people. It's like, dude, if people are going on a hike and you don't want to, like, dude, there will still be a big group still hanging out at the house. I'm sure.
Super stoked for Ian and Kylie to be coming.
It's
gonna be super fun, man.
Yeah, that'll be fun to have them. Did they decide if they're staying at the house or staying somewhere else?
I think they're staying at the house.
Good.
Yeah, they're staying at the
nice.
house.
Dude, I'd want to do that, man. Like, I feel like I'd have so much FOMO staying
Well, and that
else.
was like, and that was the thing too, was it was like, like all the hotels around there are not cheap.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like, because this when we were like asking people, and it was like, like $100 a person, like a night. It's like, that seems pretty like everybody we talked to was like, that seems fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was like, we started looking at hotels, and it was like, dude, the Motel 6 Zion is like $280 a night. Dude, like everywhere's like
the motel.
Dude, super expensive. We rented, so we're staying a couple days after, just her and I, but there's in St. George, which is the closest like city. It's like Springfield size city. It's a decent size city. We found this like condo that we rented at this place called I think it's called like Ember or something like that. But anyway, it is like a full resort style, like it's got like a 22,000 square foot pool or something like that is literally just like cabanas and like swim up bars, and it's in St. George, Utah. And we're like, oh well, shit, like let's stay here for a couple nights.
That
like,
sounds super dope.
Yeah, so we're gonna
a
be
little
there.
decompression time.
Yeah,
just
like,
two of you guys.
Just some fun just for us.
Yeah,
and so
that'll be nice.
You getting a tattoo?
Lissa, I think, has picked out a couple of ideas for me.
Yeah,
because I put it on my list. I was like, that'd be cool. I'd like to get something little.
Yeah.
But then I'm just like, I've been fucking crazy busy.
Oh, I don't even know what I'm getting. So
yeah, and I was like, I'll let other people get stuff, and Alyssa's like, you're not gonna pick something out, and I was like, you want to pick me something out? She's like, yeah, I'll pick you something.
There you go.
So,
free tattoos, man.
something Riley related, I'm sure.
Yeah,
is what I'll end up getting. So,
yeah.
Laurel
and I have been going through and picking some ideas and stuff. But yeah, I think that's gonna be super cool too. We're gonna try to bully everybody that doesn't have a tattoo into getting one.
Nice. Yeah. I'll submit. I'm sure Alyssa will submit something. So she came up with a couple cool ideas. So like, well, just pick something.
Well, and I'd like.
I've done fucking 2-day tattoos where I've done the same thing with Zach, where I'm like, just pick something.
Most of mine. And I think she's going to do some flash pages too. So there's going to be some just like, I want that, like kind of thing, where it's just like a little like couple pages that you could just like, I want this. You know what
nice.
I mean? And so and we're gonna like, I think it's gonna be like, hey, don't have them be like all wedding related. You know what I mean? Like if somebody's getting a tattoo, like I don't know if I'd want like K and A, like for your like and a heart for your wedding. Like I'd be like I don't think people want like a T and L. Like I think
I'll get it.
Do it
right on my eyelids.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You should get eyes on your eyelids so you can sleep at work in the warehouse and people think you're awake. Genius. But yeah, dude, I think that's gonna be super cool. Like it's like for all intents and purposes, it's like one of the cheaper things we're doing.
Is it gonna hurt though?
Yeah. Tattoo Arts is good. I don't know if you had a chance to check out her stuff at all. But Tattoo Arts is good. The first person that the wedding planner sent us was not good. And I'm like, I'm not gonna subject somebody, because Laura was like, well, what's wrong with it? Because she was just excited to have a tattoo artist. Yeah. And I was like, let's just see, because
maybe there's something better. Yeah.
And then we found this girl, and this girl's way better.
Yeah.
So that'll be super exciting. Dude, she's really good. It's all fine line stuff. So it's like just quick little like liner bangers, but like
we'll get something. You don't know if you're getting something?
Oh, I am. I don't know exactly.
You don't know what it is?
I'm not 100% sure yet.
You just have Laurel pick it out.
Yeah, kind of thing. I don't know. There's a couple of ideas that I have. Well, it's like, this is one of the things I had to think about, and like, I have to get it in a place that's like easily accessible, because I can't like get it on my thigh. I'm going to be in a suit. It's during the wedding.
Oh.
It's during the wedding.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like
no butt tattoos?
I mean, yeah, do what you want. But it'll be like, it needs to be somewhere that's like pretty readily accessible for me. So like,
okay.
I think how it's going to happen is, we're going to have like the ceremony, and then we're going to have what I like to call the cocktail weenie hour, because we're having drinks and hot dogs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Of course.
So the cocktail weenie hour. And during that time, she's going to be set up to do tattoos.
Nice.
Then she's going to do, then we're going to have the reception. She's going to take a break, eat dinner with everybody, and then get back to tattooing after that. So it's like, nice. So she'll be there for, I think she's there for like 4 hours, not including eating. So it's like, there should be plenty of time, because obviously not everybody's going to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
So it's like,
how many people she thinks she can get through in that time?
I don't know, but I have a feeling we're going to have way less than she thinks. And I'm going to be like, fucking load me up. I'm going to get like 7.
Oh, dude. So that was kind of the boat that I got into whenever I was like, I don't know if I've got the time to think through something. Like if you put me on this, like if you're like, think of something you want to get ahead of time. It's just like, okay, like I'll need to put some time and thought into it. But I was kind of like, I'll let other people get tattoos, right? I was like, I don't know if like her time's gonna get filled up or whatnot. It's like that's fine, that's super cool. But I was like, but if she has extra time, I'll fucking find something. Like, give me a page of some shit, and I'll fucking pick a couple things out I like.
Why not?
Yeah,
dude.
Put this one here, put that one there.
Yeah.
Like I think better in that type of scenario on tattoos. Like not overthinking it.
Hell
so
yeah, dude. You want to get a matching tattoo?
Down. Yes. All right. What are we getting?
I don't know.
We have to decide right now.
James sent me a crude drawing of like a snake, which is like literally a line, a head, and a tongue, and he's like, "Want to get it?" I'm like, "Sure."
Why not?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, so you got one picked out?
Yeah. So apparently, Laurel wants to get a rose tattoo, like a fine line, just like rose tattoo. I think I'm gonna get one of those too, just so her and I have a matching thing. Honestly, I haven't put much thought into it. I need to, because she's really talented. Like I'd want multiple tattoos from her for sure. And so it's like, I'm trying to think of like some stuff that I can like, okay, well, if I could pull my leg sleeve up to here, I could get her on my like patch leg. I could get some stuff done for sure.
Yeah.
I was wanting to do something around my knee, but I'm like, I'm not going to be able to because it's like, it's going to be.
Yeah, getting some more stuff done on your leg, like that makes sense for like some little fine line stuff.
That'd
too.
be perfect.
That's what I'm like thinking, like fine line stuff. Like I feel like girls can pull off fine line stuff like pretty much anywhere, but like guys, like you got to go in the right spots.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I think I might do like the rows like here kind of thing, and then try to do something on my leg too.
Yeah, that's honestly like the main things. Like I was thinking, it was like wrists and hands are kind of like fine line, like make a lot of sense for. Dude, I even like played around with the idea of something like right here on the hand. Yeah, I feel like it would have been cool.
Super
cool. Be cool. Yeah,
it's free, dog.
Fuck it, Riley, right here.
Yeah. Put like our dog.
Our dog. Alyssa talked about. She calls Riley Biscuit.
Yeah,
she wants to get a little biscuit tattoo.
Yeah,
I thought that'd be cool.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
right? Yeah. It's I don't know. It's unlimited.
But she has an irrational fear that she might also want to call other kids Biscuit. So then I'm like, well, then it could be a tattoo for all the kids. Then she's like, well, I would want different tattoos for. I'm like, you're overthinking this.
Yeah, right.
I was like, that biscuit tattoo is a cool idea.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
I think a biscuit tattoo is super.
I was like, if you're not gonna get that biscuit tattoo, I'll get that biscuit tattoo. She's like, no.
Come on, let's be a plate of biscuits, baby. But yeah, I super stoked for that because I think that'll be cool. And then again, anybody who doesn't have tattoos, like we've had a couple people who don't have tattoos who are like, I think I'm gonna get my first one.
I think I might have heard from some of those people. So.
Yeah, it'd be super cool.
Yeah,
Why
break
not?
the ice. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, man.
Laurel got one tattoo and she's like, I'm a tatted mama. She's ready.
I like to tell, like my go-to joke being that like for people that have like a couple of small tattoos, I'm like, oh, I got 2 tattoos as well.
Yeah, right. I've used that same one. Yeah. Like people are like, how many tattoos do you have? And I'd be like, it's kind of one. He's big.
Yeah, full body suit. That's just one tattoo, I think.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can't just.
Yeah. Well, anything else? Anything else new for us?
I don't think so.
And we need to inform the world since we have hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of listeners.
The stress of maintaining the platform that we have is tough.
Dude, that is something that I've thought about a decent amount, is that it is very easy to not be able to find time to put effort in to grow. That just maintaining everything we've got so far, that we've built so far, is a fuckload of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
It is. Like, it's like, I was explaining this, is like, because I love the podcast, but it's also like there's lots of things that I love that it's like, is it podcast night? Fuck yeah, it's podcast night.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to do it. And it's like, as soon as it's like going to the gym. It's like sometimes I'm like, all right, I should need to go. And as soon as I get there, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I love doing this. Like, this is fun.
Dude, I will say, I think the podcast, yeah, very much the same way too. It's just like, dude, it is nice. Like, I like that we do it every other week. So we get some weeks off. Dude, Monday nights where I get to like, I get to finish up with transfers and just head home and be home for the rest of the night. Yeah. Super fun. I mean, there's a lot of setup, dude, especially since Ryan is we've got him doing better things now, and we do set up ourselves and a lot of times
peasants.
Dude, yeah, we probably lost followers by not being legitimate like that, but
tough.
But we're building this from the ground up. And but yeah, dude, it's definitely, that's a good way to describe it, man. It's like, especially tonight, of like, dude, I like want to, like, I cleaned the back patio and like cobwebs and like swept and like and like, you know, dusted off all like the cushions and everything so it'd actually be comfortable, and then like all the equipment and like setting up the camera and the audio and everything, plus like trying to like help with Riley and like all like other like house stuff. Is like, dude, it's a lot, man.
We've been doing this since before you had a baby.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. We've done this 50 times.
What?
And but like the moment I sit down and, you know, we get to pour a little bourbon, light a cigar,
Get called ass mouth.
Get called house mouth. Yeah, that was pretty early on. That was a little early in the podcast for that kind of language.
I can't believe that lady said that to you.
A dental hygienist.
Ugh. Tough.
But yeah, dude, we finally sit down. I'm like, all right, like this is why we do this.
Yeah. Well, it's good to do an episode just us too. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else we want to cover, man? Are we're feeling good about this one?
I think it's 2 hours. I feel good.
Shit.
That was solid.
Yeah.
Well, 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours done. I know AG really excited. He was talking about how he misses us doing just us episodes.
I really like the guests we've had on recently. Dude, the guests have been awesome, dude. And I love having guests. We've done a lot of them. We got on a really much, very much a kick of having a lot on. But yeah, dude, I like throwing in just us from time to time. So
I have to. This is for AJ, and I'll know if he still listens since they moved to Atlanta, because he was very adamant on me doing a Garfield impression for him. So. Hey, it's me, Garfield. Where's the lasagna? So that was for you.
And anybody else listening to this episode, you're a true listener if you know that was brought up in episode 1.
Yep. Wow. The Garfield episode. In my autobiography, I'll talk about it as the Garfield episode.
We'll go back and rename that one.
Yeah.
The Garfield episode.
Well, all right. I think that's it then.
Yeah. We'll maybe take a couple pictures real quick once we're done, but yeah. Appreciate everybody listening.
50. If you've listened to all 50 episodes, send me a message and I'll send you a picture of Kevin's feet, which apparently that one person on YouTube really appreciated about you wiggling your toes.
Like I'm like now conscious about how much dude, I probably wiggled my toes that whole fucking episode.
You probably did. He does it when he gets excited. So there's to you.
That's what I do.
Creepy YouTuber.
Dude, he's probably watching this episode too.
Was it a guy? I thought it was a girl.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I assumed it was a guy. I didn't look it up into it.
Yeah.
I really should know my audience for Foot Finder.
Yeah. Are there girls I imagine there are. There have to be girls that are into feet, I guess.
I don't know. I'm not.
Seems just like a guy thing though. Because guys are just like horny about anything.
Right.
Like, oh, look at her feet.
I think,
oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I've just never been a girl, so I don't know like what that's like. I'm sure there is, but
it's not as
girls
common.
It's like, oh, look at his feet.
I think that's. God, it makes me uncomfortable. It's now I understand why girls get uncomfortable so easily.
Yeah. Shut your mouth, tootsies, and keep wiggling them things.
Yeah, we gotta throw some little teasers, dude. You can't see them close up. If you want the close ups, dude, you gotta subscribe. So
apparently so,
dude. So this is our platform to talk about Triad, Define, and Kevin's Foot Finder.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's how we make money.
Episode 50. Subscribe to Kevin's Foot Finder.
Appreciate you guys listening, watching my feet.
Adios.
See you guys.